podcast. I'm your host, as always, former Hoosier, AJ Guyton. I'm here with a very special guest, man. It's not often we get to watch the whole development of a player coming into IU from the very beginning, newly signed, newly committed. Tamar, what's up, baby? How you doing, man?
What's good, AJ? How you doing?
Tamar Bates is one of our most coveted recruits coming in this year, man, and there's a lot of expectations. And we're gonna get to those, man. But first of all, man, I want to welcome you to the family, and I think it's gonna be a very, very exciting time for you, and especially your family, your mom and your pops. They're gonna really enjoy, being in the middle of the Indiana basketball faithful, man. It's ain't nothing like it, and I can't even tell you what it's gonna be like because you're gonna see. I'm gonna warn you a little bit about it, but I can't really explain it, man. It's crazy sometimes, but from what I've watched, there's no one better to handle it. You seem very great head on your shoulders, very disciplined on and off the floor. Game is smooth. I love the game. It's probably better than me, but it's game similar to mine. Very smooth, can do it all. Handle, shoot it, defend, rebound, highlight plays, man. So we are excited to check you out, man. So welcome to the podcast, man.
I appreciate you guys having me.
All right, man. First, I'm gonna ask you, get to know you a little bit. I'm gonna ask you a few questions, man. What's your hometown?
My hometown is Kansas City, Kansas.
Okay. Favorite food dish?
Street tacos.
Street tacos. That's
Yeah.
That's what the flour joints, right?
Yep.
Okay. Who was your IMG rival team?
Rival team, definitely. I mean, it was kind of like a triangle with us, Montverde, and Sunrise.
Oh, you got it in high school, yes, sir. What's a hobby for you? Your favorite hobby?
I mean, I usually just, kick back. Because usually, it's pretty nonstop schedule. So like when I have time like to myself, I'm like, I'm just chilling, definitely watching any kind of show I could find.
You cool out, listen to music.
Yeah, love music. Okay. I'm a homebody. Like
okay.
You know what I mean? Like I go out, but it's like I would much rather, I'm like perfectly fine with staying at the house and just chilling.
Chilling. What's your hidden talent? I'm a singer. I can sing, you know what I'm saying? Not really, but I love to sing, but I can't sing. What's your hidden talent?
I'm actually not too bad in the kitchen.
Okay.
Right. I can cook, so I shouldn't struggle too much in college.
Right.
When I was growing up, I always be right on my mom's hip. So, she cooking. So I'm just picking up all the stuff that she doing. Still to this day, she teach me how to make like certain dishes and all that.
Oh, awesome, man. What's the best dish you think you can make?
Best dish I could probably make is probably spaghetti and fried fish.
Yeah.
I could probably make some. I can make a lot of stuff, but that's just the first one that comes to mind. Because that's one of my favorites that my mom makes.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the one when you got that beautiful young lady dating, the first date, you bring her, you want to cook for her. What you cooking up? What you come with the spaghetti?
She come into the crib, I'm at it, put some little steaks, little steak. Not no filet mignon.
Right.
I'm not finna ball out, but I say for the size, the restaurants, they like putting the mashed potatoes with the steak.
Absolutely.
Dress them up, little loaded mashed potatoes. You feel me? Dress that up a little bit. And you got to get some greens.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So you make me hungry thinking about that, Sean. So somebody's expectations about to be real high. Who you watch NFL football? Who's your favorite NFL team?
Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs, yes, sir. Favorite NBA team?
I don't really have a.
Yeah.
For me, like, cause Kansas, we don't have an NBA team, so I really just watch everyone. But
I can dig that. That. I don't force that one. Who's your favorite NBA player?
My favorite player right now, like in the league, is Jason Tatum. That's my favorite player.
Okay.
I watch a lot of him. And then, But in terms of like left-handed guys, gotta love James Harden. Kevin Porter been playing real good.
Yeah.
And a guy that I watch a lot of in terms of who I try and model my game after a little bit is Coutinho Mobley. I like him a lot.
Dude, that's my time period. What you doing back
Katino
there? That's
Mobley,
my time period.
Katino Mobley, and Manu Ginobili. Like
Yeah,
those left hand guys. I watch a lot of them try and take some pieces out of their game.
that's dope, man. They cause a lot of problems with them lefty. And final question to get to know Tamar, who's your greatest player ever?
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. All right. Hey, he said that with confidence. So we gonna move on, man. That was get to know Tamar, man. Let's start with your upbringing, man. What was it like coming up in Kansas City?
I mean, it was pretty. I mean, I wouldn't call it like it was kind of tough a little bit because I mean, it's like it's not too many guys that per se like make it out. Like we have some guys from Kansas City and Missouri that have went to the NBA and on to college to the next level, but it's always a lot of I just seen a lot of guys that came before me that were really good and then just something messed it up. And it's just like I didn't really like seeing that because like I was close with all those guys and I felt like they could have went to the next level and maybe past that. So I mean it was just like I was just trying to be like, okay, I saw what they did, I learned from them. So I want to try and, be the next one to, do something special.
Right.
So I mean, it was definitely, that's my city. So I love it.
Sure.
I love staying there, love going back home every time I can. But I mean, it's a great place. I mean, for basketball and, I had a.
What's some of the notable guys that came out and went pro out of Kansas City? Some of the guys, do you got any relationships with them? Do you pick their brain a little bit? Or it's not many?
I got a real good relationship with Earl Watson Jr.
Oh, definitely. Shout out Earl Watson, man. UCLA.
Earl, Alec Burks, and you got the Rush brothers.
Okay, yeah. I mean, Kareem and Jerron?
Yeah.
I played in LA with Kareem, Lefty, got smooth stroke.
Yes, sir. And then you see Alec Burks. He playing real good for the Knicks right now. So, I mean, we like I said, like we got a few guys, but I mean, I feel like this next wave of hoopers, we gonna have a lot more.
Okay.
Like even guys like younger than me, like that'll be seniors next year. We got some really good players coming out of the city.
The city looking up when it comes to y'all get good runs in the summer. Do those guys come back and play with you at all?
Yeah, everybody they back right now. They've been texting me like saying Scoop, come hoop. I'm like, God, I'm still in Florida.
Right, yo.
I'll be like, but I'll be there.
Yeah.
June 2nd. So I mean, whatever run, it's gonna be something. So I'll be here.
That's dope. That's how you hone those skills. You tap into them old fellas, make them feel a little bad about their games. You know what I'm saying? Tap into Kareem. Make sure you get him the business.
Yeah.
Hey, so what did your love for basketball develop? Did you play other sports earlier? But what made you get connected to that round ball?
It's kind of a funny story actually. So when I started playing when I was 5, but those years before that, my dad, he had always probably almost like when I was born, like when I was like 1 or 2, he had a team called the KC Magic, and I didn't want to play. I wanted to be the mascot.
Right.
I still had a jersey. I mean, he gave me a jersey, 00 Scoop on the back. I was either on the bench next to him or in the bleachers with all the moms cheering my brother on and all my friends. So, but it was like it was bound to like happen to where I would start playing, and my dad, like he told me that like when I started, like I'd be leaving something out, like the exact moment. Like he remembers, but I gotta ask him again so I can like say that whenever somebody asks me. But I mean, it was just like I was around it so much, so I eventually just fell in love with it. I started playing with him, with his team. My first number was 7 because like I watched Lamar Odom like when they was in the finals, so I was like, and I'm left-handed too, so I wore number 7. I mean, I kind of just, I was really just like a natural born leader on the floor. I mean, when I first started playing, I'm playing all 5 positions. We in the 2-3 zone. I'm in the middle, telling everybody where to go.
Right.
I mean, it was kind of just like it kind of just fit like immediately. But I mean, I started to take it more serious and realize I could do something like special per se, like probably middle school, like 7th, 8th grade. Like that summer going in the 8th grade, we was playing in some really good tournaments, and I was playing well, getting better, continue to work. And then, that was around the time when my nana passed away. And that's why I'm wearing number 53 in honor of
Okay.
her. So just having that why, you know, that reason for why I'm waking up every day, you know, going so hard, you know, that, you know, her passing, that definitely made me take it a lot more serious than I was. Like, cause I definitely was like locked in on it. And like, I knew this was my thing, but, you know, I definitely took it up another notch, you know, just having a reason, you know, just for going out there and competing.
Absolutely. That's a great point, man. And you mentioned your father earlier. Is that Tyrone?
Tyrone.
Dr. Tyrone Bates, man. Shout out to your father, man. So he ended up being your coach, man. And what was it like playing for your father at that time period as you're trying to develop the game?
Yeah, I mean, it's always interesting, you know, being a coach's son. You know, me and my brother, we would make sure we ain't call him dad when we was in practice and all that. It was strictly coach. You know, I mean, we just tried to keep it as professional as possible. Obviously, there's some extra emotions. Like he can talk to his sons differently than he can, you know, to the other players. And we were younger, so we took it personal sometimes. Like we felt like he was targeting us maybe, but I mean, you know, it turned out, you know, well, you know, and like we understand now, you know, everything that he was trying to teach us, those little lessons he was trying to, you know, implement in us, you know. You're not really tripping off it now, but you know, playing for him was an interesting experience.
Right. So you and your brother. Do you have any other siblings? Anybody else? Just you and your brother?
Yeah. So I'm the middle child. I have an older sister, and my older brother, he's 20.
Okay.
And then 2 younger sisters, Trinity and Tamia.
Okay.
They're 11 and 12. And then my brother, his name is he's Tyrone Bates III, but we call him Trey.
Okay.
And then my older sister, her name's LaShanae. So.
Oh, that's what's up. Who's the best athlete out of you all?
I gotta say me.
You gotta say
you. I mean, we are. It's a competitive household.
Absolutely.
Whatever we do, whatever we doing, we always compete. So it's definitely a good environment to be in.
Absolutely. I mean, you gotta say you, but now you can be truthful. Which one? Who the best athlete?
Me.
Okay. Hey, I guess you know they're gonna listen to this and they're gonna get an earful.
That's why I said it. I would have sparked a little fire.
Absolutely, I like that. I like that. So you obviously, you know, you grow into your body, you play well, and you develop, man. But you end up. Did you go to high school or you automatically went to IMG Prep? How did that all come about?
Yeah, so I went to high school. I went to Piper High School, a public school in Kansas City, Kansas.
Okay.
Because I only came to IMG my senior year. I was just here for this past. So I mean, my freshman year, you know, still like it wasn't a bad season. I had a little knee injury, so I was out for almost half the season, and then, you know, following that the next year, you know, we ended up winning the state championship, and that was the first one in school history. So that was big because I was a sophomore, my brother was a senior.
Okay.
He got sent out on top. And then my junior year last year, we lost one game. We were 22-1. And the one game we lost off a buzzer beater.
Right, yeah.
Game still behind me to this day.
All right, yeah.
And then we were in the Final Four. We were about to play in the Final Four game in the state tournament before COVID.
COVID hit. Oh, man.
Right, and then so, you know, with COVID and the uncertainty if it was going to be a season next year, you know, it was like, it was already a thought like all year throughout my junior year that I was going to go to a prep school. But, you know, when they started reaching out and, you know, IMG kind of just stood out because, I mean, the coaches, there was a lot of conversations, like even like during like school, like before we even started with the Zoom stuff.
Yeah. Coach
Mack was, you know, calling my pops, talking to him about the opportunity they had for me down here. But it was also the belief they had in me. You know, it's not like they were trying to, you know, sell me a dream, telling me that I was going. I mean, they were telling me everything that could happen, but, you know, me knowing myself, I'm like, I mean, if I just, you know, go do what I do, what I've been doing, you know, get me to this point, you know, I'll be fine. You know, and it was really just wanting to be around other good guys, learning how to play with other good players, you know, and having the best like preparation possible for I mean, I'm about to go in like 2 weeks, but for my freshman year. So that was like one of the main things going into it. Like, you know, like we want you to be ready, you know, for when you go to college. And I feel like I am. I mean, it was a great year. I mean, great coaching staff, and I mean, I'm really happy I made this move down here. So,
Right.
I mean, yeah.
Did COVID factor into that decision, or did because without COVID, do you think you would have came back and ran it back and got you another state title, or you just knew that that was probably the next step you had already done the city?
Yeah. Like, I knew that was probably the next step, and I mean, it was like with COVID, I was just like, even if we have a season or not, I'll still be at IMG with the team, with the resources, the weight room. I mean, just everybody down here, you know, I'll still be able to get better somehow, even if we don't have a season.
Right. Yeah.
You know, because we were fortunate enough to play. You know, my appreciation for the game grew tremendously just because it was other states around the country they weren't playing.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and even with no fans, I'm glad they coming back. My appreciation for them.
Right.
Oh my God, because we playing in quiet gyms, like you got to bring your own energy. Like it ain't nobody else in the crowd.
Right.
You know, giving you juice.
Like them early morning 8 a.m. AAU games. Like everybody sleepwalking. Ain't nobody at the game. So what's the biggest difference between because a lot of kids won't get the opportunity. They see it a lot, the Mount Verds and the IMGs. What's the biggest difference between high school and prep school?
I mean, I say the rigorous schedule.
I
mean, because we sun up to sun down.
Right.
I mean, and it's definitely like a college-based schedule. Like we lifting, and we lifting. We got practice, school. We got class, and then we back in the gym at night.
Right.
So I say the schedule. That's definitely like the biggest difference in like the level of play. Because I mean, back home, I'm not around other guys that have. Like everybody else on the team here, they got 10 plus, 15 plus offers too. They they like in their class, they respectively like top 20, top 10 players. So you know, just being around other guys like myself, you know, sharpening my mind, you know, but I mean, I say the schedule, that's definitely that's the biggest change. Cause I mean, I wasn't lifting every day, you know, back home.
Let me tell you guys a little bit about our partners over at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. If you haven't signed up with Bet Rivers yet, now's the time. Bet Rivers Sportsbook is offering a $250 match bonus for your first deposit. But what sets them apart is that they require just one play through to turn your bonus into cash money. When you win at Bet Rivers Sportsbook, they pay fast. And now it's even faster with Rush Pay instant approval for withdrawals. It's safe, it's secure, it's reliable. With March Madness around the corner, there's never been a better time to give Bet Rivers Sportsbooks a try. Go to betrivers.com today or download the Bet Rivers iOS app. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling a problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Who was instrumental in your development, and at what point? Because I always tell people on this podcast, like there was a point in my high school career where I looked around and something happened during the game where I was like, oh, I'm different. Like I'm leaving. I'm about to leave people behind because I'm just different. At what point did you realize that you were different, and who was instrumental in helping you develop the overall game that you have today?
I would say I took a really big leap. So this was after my 15U season. So after my freshman summer. Like preseason before my sophomore year, I was like at it every day. Like because back home we got our little facility Drive 5. You know, we got our trainer upstairs, Johnny, that I was lifting with him, and I'm downstairs every day with some of the coaches from Run GMC. So I mean, just training with them every day. I mean, I say definitely my guy Tad, he works with USA some, and my other trainers, Doug Compton, Peter Danielev, just those three guys, you know, just going at it every day, just drilling the same stuff, same fundamental. Right. I mean, it was like that was definitely when I took that jump. Like I went up at another little level, and I was like, I'm one like that. That's when I started feeling like I'm one of the best players in the country too. Like I'm seeing all these guys, and I'm watching everything. I'm a basketball junkie, so like I knew everybody that was ahead of me. You know, I see all the rankings, the write-ups, the videos, the mixtapes. I'm like, I'm that too. Like, that's
Right.
me. Like,
Right.
so like just that hunger and like just wanting like and demanding respect. That's really like like why I was just like just so crazy about it and just wanting to get better every day. Cause I was like, I mean, it's not like they just gonna hand it to you.
Right, for sure.
But I mean, it's just like that mentality of, you know, when I go play, because I was on the Under Armour circuit, so I'm playing the top guys. I'm just like, I was the kid, like, you got this many offers, you got to show me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm out here, I'm right here with you.
Right, yeah, right.
Right.
Right,
So then when I started getting, you know, like the offers,
mm-hmm.
that my 16U season, like I had like I said, we won state that year, and then I got my first offer in July that summer at the last session.
Right.
So when I started getting those like offers, and I was like, I was still underrated. I still feel like I am now, but I mean, it was just like my mentality didn't change, and I feel like that's how I continue to. That's why I continue to grow and, you know, and continue to get better, because I was like, okay, so I knew I was that kid saying, you got to show me. So now that I'm here, I got to show them why everybody say what they think I am.
Right, exactly.
So,
that's why I love to ask that question, because I want kids at home and people who support you and follow you, especially kids who are going to look up to you from now on. I want them to know that it takes a village. It's people around you that are helping you develop, but they're quality people. Like they're not just some dude from down the street who just want to hang on. It's really legit guys out there that can help you. And I like to get their names out there so people know, like, hey man, you want to make it to this level, this is how you do it. This is the grind. Because a lot of kids out here just going the wrong direction. It's like, he can't help you. She can't help
you. You got to be in the right circle. Like,
exactly.
You got to keep the right people around you. I mean, definitely making a move to Casey Run GMC, playing for Coach LJ Goolsby. That decision changed my life, because he's a great guy, and, you know, with a decorated resume.
Right.
Him, and then, you know, the guys that I was just, you know, training with every day. I mean, they kept a good head on my shoulders. You know, they wasn't trying to, you know, gas me up. You know, I made sure I stayed humble, and that's a quality that I possess already. But, you know, them, you know, staying on me, make sure that I put the work in. You know, I can't just talk about it. You know, I gotta be about it. So
absolutely.
You know,
and you said it. Those repetitions and repping and doing the same thing over and over and over again, but doing the right things, the things that's gonna translate. That's what got you to this point. And to my next point of you being, I think you was mentioned like a Jordan Brand player or something.
Right, Jordan Brand Classic.
I want to go backwards, and I want to know where you were and what you were doing and how you reacted when you got that news. Because as good as I was in Indiana, I ain't never been a McDonald's All-American. I wasn't Jordan. I was always wondering, like, how would I feel? Like I felt when they called me for the Hall of Fame, like I just broke down, like, dang, somebody appreciated, you know, the way I played.
Yeah.
For you, what was that? What was that moment like for you?
So I mean, I actually like found out like that I was gonna be in the Jordan Brand Classic, like probably like 2-3 months ago, because my AU coach, like, because he's plugged in, so they had let him know that, you know, tomorrow, like, we're gonna select him to be in the Jordan Brand Classic. But he had called. Well, actually, it was weird, because like Coach Mack from here, he had texted me and was like, "What's your shoe size, and like jersey and shorts?" And I'm like, "What are you asking me this for?" I'm like, and then Coach LJ, he texted me and asked me the same thing. I'm like, "Bro, what's going on?" So then he called me right after I responded, and was like, I mean, we chatted it up, like you know, just checking on each other. And then he was like, "You got selected to be in the Jordan Brand Classic." And I just went silent for like a minute. I was like, "What?" I was like, I was just like shocked. I was like, "Wow, like that's like." Yeah, it was just like, I was definitely, you know, proud of me. My parents were like real happy for me, but I was just like, I obviously knew that I worked for it, but it was just like the fact that, you know, they know who I am, they recognize me. I was just grateful, dog. I mean, I was just like,
hey, that is exciting, man. Plus, and I don't know if have you met Michael Jordan yet?
No.
So you like right the next step, like the man. Like I tell people all the time, like when I met Michael Jordan, and I think Allen Iverson said it, man. He said it was like a glow around the dude. Man. I'm sitting there and
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is unbelievable. This dude
Like,
walk up to you, he gonna speak your name, say hello, gonna call you by name. And it was just so I ain't gonna spoil it for you, but it's the most incredible thing to meet, the go to basketball, you know what I mean? So
man,
when I heard that, I was like, I don't even think about the game. I'll be like, man, these must get to meet the GOAT. I mean, you should. I don't know if you do or not, but I'm sure he'll be around. He'll be somewhere around there when it happens. And it's just a phenomenal opportunity, man. So I know, with you and where you come from, and just to be the culmination of just getting that honor is just like something you're gonna always cherish and remember, man. So I'm excited for congratulations with that, man. So
yeah, appreciate you.
Keep working with that, man. So and once again, I'm talking to Tamar Bates, Indiana basketball recruit signee. He's going to be lighting up Assembly Hall. Simon's, I don't even know how to say it. I call it Assembly Hall.
How do you say it? Simon's?
I couldn't even tell you. We're going to ask the fans, man, because Simon something. I just call it Assembly Hall.
I just call it Assembly Hall. Yeah.
Call it Assembly Hall. That'd be easier for you. SS Assembly Hall. But he's going to be lighting it up, man. I can feel it. Got the old school competitive spirit. And I just love people with the knowledge of the game. That's not just today, but I can tell he referenced Cuttino Mobley. Like that's one of the best scorers, in my opinion, that come out of the NBA, especially from the left-hand side of the floor, man. It's a bad boy. So we excited, man. So when your recruitment picked up, you started to get recruited, man. What was that process like? Because it's obviously during COVID. So what makes that difficult? Because you can't really do a lot of the things you want to do to get a feel for the school. So is it just you get a feel for the coaches and then you just got to go off of that? Or like, how was that process during COVID?
I mean, since it was really all Zooms, I mean, we was just trying to, really figure out what kind of people we were talking to. Like, are we talking to some real dudes or some used car salesmen?
Right. Exactly.
And I mean, when I made my first decision when I committed to Texas, it was just like, it kind of just like, felt right. And Shaka, he's a great guy, Coach Smart.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was definitely, I was excited about that. I felt like I was in a good spot. And, I mean, when he left, I was like, I knew I was going to decommit because, I committed to Coach Smart, not Texas. So, I mean, the second time around, we were more cautious. Like we knew exactly what we were looking for. And like, we already had the first wave of it. So it was just like, we can't really, I knew I was going to make the right decision this time.
Right.
Not saying I didn't the first time, but I just knew this time I wasn't really worried about me ending up in the wrong spot because, I knew it would present itself the same way it did last time.
Right.
So, I mean, it's definitely something you just got to be patient with. But I mean, the younger guys coming up now, I mean, they can go on their visits again. So they'll have a different type of recruitment. So they'll be fine in that way. But I mean, really just, because wanting to play for somebody that's going to keep it real with you, not telling you, not trying to sell you a dream.
Yeah.
Right. Like telling you about to come in and start, you're going to be my best player. Like, I don't want to hear that.
Right.
Because I mean, everything, like the way I was raised, like everything, you got to work for it.
Yeah, definitely.
Just hearing that get my gears turning. Like, that's what I want to hear. So, I mean, really just, and then wanting to play for a guy that's just as competitive as me, can match my energy. And then aside from the coaches, I mean, I feel like we're gonna have a really good team next year.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Like the guys that I'm going in to play with, I'm real excited. We got Trace. We got our transfers. We got the guard that was already there. We got Christian. We got Trey Galloway.
Right.
So I mean, and I feel like it was a really good mix of like some veterans per se, and then younger guys that can learn with me as well.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Those usually the teams that win because they have those older guys on them teams that have been in the conference, been in college basketball for 2-3 years. So
how did that connection and what got your eyes pointed toward IU? What was the thing that attracted you there? Somebody who reached out to you, or somebody reached out to you, told you about it? What eventually got you to look in that direction?
Coach Hunter was the first person that reached out.
Okay.
And I mean, that's when I first talked to a school, I don't think I'm going there. Like,
right. Yeah.
just
for
like,
sure. Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, okay, but I mean, my parents just said, just keep an open mind, don't tell
Mm-hmm.
nobody, you don't want to talk to them or, you good, just, listen to what they had to say.
Mm-hmm.
I was really, intrigued the first time we got on the Zoom, and I kept it in the back of my mind. And, just, them staying in constant contact. We're getting on another Zoom. They got the entire staff on there all the way. I mean, just like 10 plus people.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, besides that, I mean, like the head man in charge, like him, like the head, like not an assistant coach, like the head coach telling me, I want you on my team. Like,
right. Yeah, for sure.
I want you here, I want to help you. Like, him wanting to help me and, develop me and, just, help maximize my potential.
Absolutely.
And then him, being like he's done everything that I want to do.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I just felt like I could be a sponge and learn as much as possible from him. And, I felt like he's a really good coach. I mean, and then like just with all the people, doubting him and saying him coming from the league, it's not going to transfer. Like his, like that fire in him to want to prove everybody wrong, that like caught my eye too. Cause I'm like, that's what I've been doing forever.
You're right.
Just proving people wrong, showing them, like I said earlier, like I'm a good player too. So
right, exactly.
I felt like that was a guy that I would really enjoy playing for. And I mean, he has a really good group of coaches around him, and he assembled a good team. So I feel good about it.
That's good. That's good. And when you had that first comp, what was your initial impression of Coach Woodson? Mike Woodson, who we talked about, head coach at my alma mater, his soon-to-be alma mater, Indiana University. What was that first conversation like with Coach?
The first conversation was good. I mean, he was real upbeat, just excited to be on the Zoom with me and my family. Yeah. And just a real humble dude. Cause I mean, I learned a lot of stuff about him that I didn't know.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
So, and it's like, and I like people like that, that have done a lot. Like I didn't even know that he played in the NBA as long as he did. I mean, 14 years, that's a long career.
Definitely.
So, I mean, just.
And coached in it. So
yeah, and then coach after that. So it's just like, him just like being, fully invested in my family and I, and, just showing us, what they had to offer. But I mean, the first conversation went really well. I mean, I was definitely like, interested in, what else he had to say after that. But, we hit it off. We hit it off like immediately.
Definitely. What was the turning point? So you go through the process, you go talk to other teams, Zoom. What was the turning point that you said, all right, I'm going to IU. That's the place for me.
Let me see. When was the exact day when I think it was because I definitely had called my parents. Like, we was calling each other at the same time.
Oh wow.
Like, and was like this is the spot. But like it was like, I mean, it was definitely after the Zoom when the entire staff was on there. It was after that one. And I mean, we were like looking at, because we were like seriously looking at like 4 or 5 schools.
Right.
So I mean, just like it was kind of just like I kind of just knew, just like I did the first time. Like I was like, it really just hit me. Right. I mean, so I mean, it's not really nothing like crazy. It was just like my parents kind of like knew like that's it, and it was just like, I don't see like what, like that's the best opportunity for you.
Right.
And I felt the exact same way. So
that's crazy. So
the
fact y'all called each other at the same time almost.
Yeah.
that always feels better when everybody's just, when it happens with synergy. Go ahead.
I remember it because it was the same day when I had called them and told them that's where I was going. But I was driving on the highway down here in Florida. Well, I was in the passenger seat. My teammate was driving. I think we were going to the beach.
Yeah.
Mind you, we in Bradenton, Florida. And we drive past a car, and they got an IU license plate.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was a sign right
That's
there.
it,
Like,
right? That
like
was it.
I was already telling him, like, we was in the car talking about my recruitment, and like, I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go to Indiana. Like, that's the move.
Right.
And then we just riding for like 5 minutes, and I'm like, bro, are you kidding me? Like,
Right.
I'm like, I'd be a fool to ignore that.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. Right.
so I mean, it was just I felt like that was kind of like God putting it right in front of me. Like, that's it.
Right.
Like, that's just crazy, because I'm like, we are in like Florida.
That's
And
dope.
and they had like a little, it was an Indiana, like the IU was right there. I'm like, wow. I'm like, so I mean, that was definitely like the little sign, but I kind of knew before that, but that solidified it. Like, I was like, yeah,
that's gonna happen to you a lot. There's so many IU alums spread out throughout the country, but I definitely wouldn't ignore that sign. That's incredible. It's an incredible story, man. What did you know about the tradition before you signed on, or you agreed to attend IU? Did you do some research? Did you know? Did you? I know you probably know. The current Oladipo, Yogi Ferrell. I know you kind of. Did you dig deep into the tradition, or you just gonna learn it when you get there?
Yeah, I kind of knew like a little bit, like before, they started recruiting me, just how dominant they were, like how like the championships they won, and like the only like undefeated team like to win a championship. So I knew about like how dominant they were like in the 80s and 90s, but I mean, and then just how important basketball is in Indiana. Like, that's a basketball state.
Absolutely.
So I mean, just how everybody feels about the sport there, and I definitely got some more to learn about Indiana basketball. But I knew like the current players, like you said, like Yogi, Romeo Langford, Victor Oladipo. I mean, so
rich tradition, man, and I'm glad you're a part of it, man. What personal and team goals are you thinking of for yourself in your first year?
I mean, the goal, is obviously just like to win as many games as possible. Definitely like win championships. Like we want to win a Big Ten championship. We want to win a conference. Just like, because they haven't been, seeing too much success like in the past couple of years. So, just the overall mindset is that we want to win and do it at a high level. I feel like this is a team like, another like a factor why I went here, like being around a team that could potentially compete for a national championship.
Right.
So, I definitely like, in terms of team goals, we just want to win at a high level. And, bring Indiana basketball, back to where it was, and, just get some of our respect back.
Right.
In terms of personal goals, I want to win Big Ten Freshman of the Year. Like, I want to put the whole nation on notice.
Right.
Whole country. So,
Yeah, I think you will, man. You got the energy, you got the knowledge, you got the physical capabilities, man. It's all about you at this point. What part of your game do you feel you need to develop the most, though? Like, are you, we come in, when I came in, I wanted to get a little bit stronger, but I felt like, I could do more with the basketball, which I eventually did. What parts of your game do you feel like you need to improve a little bit the most?
Being left-handed, I can always improve my game on the right side of the floor. I definitely feel like, just continue to drill that, and, my right hand, getting better. Because I don't, that's the one thing I do not want on the scatter report.
Right.
So, definitely that, continuing to tighten my handle. Becoming a better leader, try to continue to be an effective communicator. But I would say like the main thing right now is, just improving my right hand, continuing to, get that stronger. Just shooting it. More accurate from deeper. Because that's one of my strengths. But shooting. So that's one thing I'm gonna be. That's gonna be kind of like my role that I'll fit into. But in terms of weaknesses, I definitely say, just becoming dominant on the right side of the floor as I am the left.
Right, definitely. Okay. And you mentioned earlier, man, you coming into a team that got some experienced players, got Race Thompson back, got Trace Jackson back. You got Christian Lander at the point. The wing is kind of wide open. Got a couple options there, man, and expectations are going to be a little higher than they were coming into Coach Woodson's tenure. How are you? Are you in touch with some of the players? Because I know it's hard for you. Haven't been able to go down and have that visit, but you'll kind of have a visit before you get down there. Has it been tough not being able to do that part? And how do you plan to kind of get into the team? As you try to do it quicker than you normally would because you just was out of time.
I mean, we have a group chat like with all the guys right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're talking that as much as possible, but man, I'm gonna just get straight to it as soon as I get on campus.
Absolutely.
I mean, the same way, I kind of like brought the guys together down here. I plan on, going in and chipping in, doing the same thing there. Because I mean, we have our older leaders, but in terms of being like a vocal leader, a guy that's here, every day, ready to work, just being a leader by example and with my voice. I mean, I feel like, just competing every day. I mean, the guys like we'll definitely become close because I mean we talk in the group chat like I said, so I don't think I have a problem, with any of the guys off the court or on the court. So I mean it shouldn't take too long before we all get used to each other.
No doubt. And the last thing I'll ask about the IU experience, man. Give IU fans a quick snapshot of what type of player that they're gonna see coming from Tamar Bates.
I mean, just a guy that's good, that wants to win, like every night, like every time I step on the floor. I mean, I'm a high energy guy. I'm gonna play both sides of the floor. So I'm trying to be like the most effective guy on the court, whether I'm scoring or not.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I say a two-way player that and everybody's gonna hear me.
Yeah,
that's just me, just a high energy guy.
I love it.
High motor. So I mean, just a player. I mean, that's going score a lot of baskets and I'm gonna stop the other team from scoring. Mm-hmm. So I just want to. Like, I mean, everybody said they want to do whatever they can to help the team win, but that's kind of like the go-to statement. But like, I mean, I want to like try and do as much as I can.
Right. Yep.
Like, but I mean, they can expect, everything they see, on the internet, the same guy. I don't plan on changing anything.
Right. Yep. Hey man, that's great, man. And just from my perspective, being a former player, man, I think you're going to be a fantastic addition, not only to Indiana basketball, but to the family of Indiana basketball and to the culture of Indiana basketball. And I can feel the energy, I can feel the leadership qualities, and that's definitely those two things I do not want you to ever sacrifice when you get there, because there'll be some peaks and valleys. There'll be some ups and downs. I mean, especially when you get into the Big Ten season. I mean, Big Ten is one of the most well-coached, probably the most well-coached conference from a preparation standpoint. And then you're right, they'll pick you apart. You can't go right, and the whole game they'll be making you go right, and they won't let up on that. So but I can feel that with patience and with your intensity and your stick-to-itiveness, that you're going to be a great asset, man. I'm excited, but I'm glad we did this interview because it's going to bring people, it's going to draw people into your energy, and I'm positive about that. But before I leave, I want to leave you with 5 things that I don't want you to sacrifice, or that I want you to do in order to make your time at IU successful. Because I want to see you win. Don't care what else you do. Win. When you win Big Ten Freshman of the Year, all conference, I want you to be first team. I want you to be draft. Everything you can be, I believe you can do it. But the first thing I would say is make sure, and I don't think you're going to have problem with any of these as I'm talking to you, but make sure you create relationships, open up, and network. Because like I was talking about, you saw that IU sign in Florida. That network is huge, and it's bigger than you could ever imagine. Make sure you don't close, because we as athletes, we get a lot of attention, and especially on campus. You're gonna be big man on campus. People are gonna talk to you all the time. But I don't think you'll have that problem. Stay open, stay creating those great relationships, man. Try to stay, number two, try to stay away from social media during the season if you can, as much as you can. Like, I know you want to take a peek, you might want to see, but it don't matter what they think. It matters what's going on in that locker room, and they'll use that stuff against you. So try to stay focused on that grind, because it is a grind. You know, that Big Ten is a grind. That season is a grind, and you're used to it because you at IMG, and you kind of getting a snapshot of what it's like, but it increases tenfold because the intensity increases. So try to stay focused. Number three, never leave practice without making 100 to 200 game shots. Like, try to, no matter if you're shooting great that day, that week, or you're shooting poorly that week, make it a habit, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to make you consistent. Number four, play with passion and enthusiasm, and let the crowd know let the crowd feel your energy. Let them know that you feel their energy, because that's what's going to make you an Indiana basketball player. It's the connection. And the thing about us is we from out of state. So, they talk about, basketball in Indiana. Yeah, it's really different. Like, they are passionate. You even got to take the bad with the good. Like, you'll get some people talk some shit to you, and you're going to have to take it, you know what I'm saying? But they're passionate, and they just want to win. It's not about, I don't like Tamar. It is never that, or Tamar sucks. It's like, nah, Tamar, I just want to win. And I think, I believe that us being from out of state, we have to really, really show the Indiana faithful that we're there for Indiana basketball, not for a stepping stone, not for anything else, man. And the last thing I'll say is learn as much about the IU tradition as possible, and all the way back. And when you see those guys, seek their expertise. When Isaiah Thomas comes around, and he will, Yogi comes around, Scott May, some guys that you don't even know right now, they're going to come around, man. Don't give them the dry, dead fish handshake. What up, man? Like, you know what I'm saying? Go, hey, pick their brain. Hey, man, what you see out there in practice, man? I want to be an all-time great. I don't want to just be here. And all of these five things, just talking to you, I think they're already in you. I just want to reiterate them. Not that you don't do any of them. You don't have to do any of them, but I just want to reiterate them, because that's our job as former players, is to make sure that you know how serious it is, you know what I'm saying, when you get there. And one thing I didn't have on here, and you mentioned it earlier, was like, be a leader. Like, I came in as a freshman. I was freshman of the year, Big Ten freshman of the year. I was all conference all 4 years. I was all first team All-American, Big Ten player of the year, all those things. But the one thing I regret that didn't get my teams over the hump was that I didn't force them. I wasn't the leader that I could have been. Like, I was a leader, but they needed a different kind of leader from me. They needed what you can give. They needed, let's go bowling together. They needed, let's go to the beach together. Let's go to a little 500 together. Let's make sure you are the anchor that keeps the team together. Like, no matter through what. It's hard to do it when you're slumping, or when you read about my time, we went through a tumultuous time, like with Coach Knight. Some things were happening. It was just, but we weren't fractured away from each other, but we weren't together either. So and when you get older, you start, that was the problem. Like, and it wasn't like we didn't like each other, nothing like that. It was nothing like that. It was like nobody just took the initiative to say, stay together, fellas. We're a family. And I think you can do that naturally. It's not force coming from you. You have that. You have the education, your history of the game. You study it. I think you're super competitive. I can see you just taking over a game emotionally and skill wise. So those things, man, keep on your heart, man. And as Indiana fans, we're gonna be following, and I'm gonna be thinking of those things as I'm watching you as a young player, and stay focused on the task at hand. A lot of guys. NBA draft. I want to go to the league. Man, league coming if you're good enough. It's coming. They coming if you're good enough. And I believe good enough. I haven't seen you play one game, watch highlights, all that stuff. But I mean, you can tell who's good enough. Former players can tell. So, but don't let the rankings and
right.
You know what I mean? Just stay focused on
Indiana
basketball, because that's what you're there for. Education, basketball. So, man, a little longer than I wanted to as far as that part, but I want to make sure I got that out to you, man, because I'm excited about you. I'm excited about Miller. I'm excited about Michael Durr. I'm excited about Coach Woodson. I've been begging for a former player to come coach the team since probably 10 years ago, because I just knew that's what IU needed. That's what we need. We just needed, not that the other guys were great, but when somebody, one of your own comes in, you know, everybody from alum standpoint feels comfortable and we're excited. So, you know, whether you work out or not, I don't care. I'm glad it's happening. And I'm glad you're there to be a part of it, man. Got anything you want to lead IU faithful with?
I mean, just expect to, have a really good season this year. It's not going to be what was happening in the past. We looking to just go up. Just get better.
Yep. One day at a time. You said it all. He said it all throughout the podcast. You know, he definitely put it out there. And I think after this podcast, man, it's going to be even more expectations just from the energy standpoint, the leadership standpoint that the people see. And I'm excited about that. So, man, welcome to the family once again, man. Looking forward to seeing you in those little snapshots they got on Instagram and practice, working on your game with that IU, the Crimson and Cream on, man. So when you headed to campus again for everybody?
I'll be there June 1st.
June 1st. June 1st, the Tamar Bates era begins at IU people. So make sure we there supporting, make sure we there, making sure that he's successful and supporting him, man. Once again, Tamar Bates, IU signee, looking forward to it. And good luck at the Jordan Brand class. I hope it happens. You think the game?
No, they can't. Yeah, we're not playing.
Oh, man.
But we'll get everything that we would have wore, all the stuff, they'll send all that out. But
okay. Well,
yeah, we don't get to play the game.
Don't matter. It is a McDonald's game. Were you a McDonald's All-American?
I wasn't.
Okay. All right, cool. It's Jordan all day anyway, right? Hey, thanks for joining me, man. You got a lot of long schedule. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
Yep.